Hey. Hope you're having a fantastic day. As you're coming through, let me know in the comment section if you can hear me. We're looking at KV Core today. We're going to get started in about 10 seconds. So hopefully the audio is coming through okay. Let me know in the chat if it is. And also, as we get going, let me know if you have KV Core right now or if you're thinking about getting KV Core. So I kind of want to see who's watching this type of content. So if you are already an active KV Core subscriber or user, whether your brokerage is the one that is paying for the KV Core license, or you're paying KV Core directly, or if you're looking at KV Core versus Top Producer versus the garbage CRM of LionDesk, that's just my opinion. Whatever you're thinking, let me know who is here. So we're gonna get going right now. Sounds like my audio is going well. Quick favor, if you wouldn't mind smashing that like button, that's gonna help send out the notifications that this is something worth doing. KV Core is a real estate CRM. Let's get going. KV Core is a real estate CRM that, for my money, is the best CRM out there. Now, given that I work with so many different real estate agents and builders and title companies, loan officers, and a lot of professionals in the real estate community, I've been exposed to quite a few CRMs out there. So there's really not a CRM that I haven't had personal experience with, either with myself using it, or one of my agents using it, or one of my clients on the consulting side using a CRM. I've gone through just about all of them, and KV Core, just for my money, is one that has stood head and shoulders above the rest from the features, from the functionality, from the dependability that it has. So I know that I just had some strong words for LionDesk, but I do believe that KV Core is not even a comparison to LionDesk. LionDesk is one of the actually the biggest knock on it is that it's just not dependable. Every other day it's breaking. Every other day there's just a circular support system that doesn't help you. With KV Core, it's a radically different experience. So we're going to look at KV Core to its to the fullest extent that the time will allow us today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen so we can get going, and you'll see what we're talking about. So KV Core, again, is a real estate specific CRM, mostly for real estate agents. There are a few lenders that use it. There are a few other real estate professionals that use KV Core, but it is designed specifically for real estate agents. And what will this mean for you, as many of you have a tech deck, a technology deck that varies across the board? What does this mean for you? Well, here are some capabilities that I wanted to highlight. These are not all the capabilities, just full disclosure. These are a few that I wanted you to see, and most of them you're going to actually see in action today. But I wanted you to understand what KV Core can do for your business, what technology and capabilities you have, so as to start cutting out some additional expenses that you're incurring right now needlessly. So KV Core is your website. So KV Core has an IDX website that's quite powerful and user-friendly that will allow you to just focus on your KV Core website. You don't have to go out and create a brand new website, whether that's a WordPress, whether that's a Squarespace, whether that's a whatever other website. You can use it. You can use your website here, which is the one that KV Core gives you. KV Core also serves as your email autoresponder. So several of you have MailChimp campaigns or autoresponders. Some of you have iContact. Some of you have Aweber. Some of you ActiveCampaign. You have various email autoresponders that you're using specifically for your business. Well, KV Core has that here. Text autoresponders. Several of you have autoresponders that send out text for you. Well, KV Core has that same thing here. Landing page generators. Several of you are using ClickFunnels as an example, which is a famous landing page generator. This is something that you get with KV Core included already. You have the ability of doing safe searches on kvCORE. You have client search, so your clients can actually get onto your app and start searching for properties, and also they can get onto your website, so you have that capability for your clients. At the same time, you also have a mobile, well, I kind of already alluded to earlier, but you have mobile apps, one from the client side, so for your buyers and sellers to have access to, and one from the agent side, so you can control your leads from your mobile, because many of you are actually showing, many of you are out and about and need to, as you're taking calls in or you're prospecting on the move, you need to make sure that you're keeping your database, your CRM, as clean as possible. So that's why the mobile is so important, that mobile app. You have an open house sign-in app. Well, this integrates into your CRM. So when you're out there doing your open houses, you don't need a piece of paper. You just need the app, which will automatically sync your contacts into your kvCORE. kvCORE does have a dialer component. Now that is an add-on, just as a full disclosure, that is an add-on. So is the voicemail drops. Those are two add-ons, and there's actual several more that we're gonna briefly go through just so you see just so you have a full understanding of what it is. And that's really why I'm asking if you are already a kvCORE user or haven't used kvCORE in the past. So there's a few of you that are considering kvCORE that are, again, in between kvCORE or other real estate CRMs out there. So that's why I want to show you the entire screen. That's why I want to show you the entire setup so you can see what else is out there. So some of you that already have kvCORE, well, you can log into your kvCORE and find out all the functionality, but several of you that are watching this video might not have kvCORE. So I wanted to make sure that I shared everything with you so you can make an informed decision there moving forward. And then you also have a CMA Generator. Now, your CMA Generator, we're going to talk about lead generation capabilities, but also I'm going to share with you some strategies. So in this video, what we're looking at are not just the capabilities. I have other videos that show you every single button out there. In this video, I want to share as much as I possibly can that's going to be beneficial to you. So in this one video, I want to give you a good understanding of what kvCORE is and what it is not. But most importantly, I want to put some action behind our time today. So we're going to look at lead generation strategies. I'm going to show you several different ways to generate leads from a paid perspective and also from a free perspective, an organic perspective. In fact, I think all of them with except one are free. So these are free strategies that you can implement. I'm going to show you how to set up the important parts of your kvCORE. And there's a few other things that we're going to go through today. It's just going to share with you how to leverage hashtags the right way. I'm going to talk about how to do integrations between Meta, aka Facebook, into your kvCORE account. And then I'm also going to show you how to actually convert the leads that come through your database. So we're going to talk about a full 365-day campaign and also a 30-day conversion campaign when it comes to email, text, and task assignment. So you're going to see what that looks like here in this one video. So as you're coming in, a like is going to go a long way. And also let me know in the comments section down below, quick reminder, if you are currently using kvCORE or you're contemplating using kvCORE. So I know we have both audiences. I want to make sure that I lean into the important parts so we don't miss anything. All right. So let's talk about some navigation. Now we're going to go very, very quickly. I want to make sure that we honor our time today and make this as time efficient as possible for you. I understand that you're a busy real estate professional, so I want to honor that. We're going to do a brief lay of the land. So I'm going to show you where to go to make some quick edits. I'm going to show you what you need to fill out, what you don't need to fill out, and show you where to go to make some key adjustments, especially as you're getting your kvCORE off the ground. I'm going to show you how profiles work. So the profiles is one of the most complete profiles out there. So one of the most complete interfaces out there. So I don't want you to get intimidated. I want you to see what actually works, what you can fill out, what you don't fill out, just so you're not wasting your time in tracking unnecessary information. I'm going to show you the power of hashtags because that's going to be how most of your marketing moves, it's through hashtags. So hashtags are going to be an assignment to profiles, which you're going to see here shortly. So to get started, I'm going to go to our dashboard. So whenever you log into kvCORE, you're going to go into this right here. So on the right hand side, you're going to see, well, let's go to the Smart CRM because that's what you're going to see most of the time. All right, so what you're seeing right now is the Smart CRM. This is where all of your leads are going to show. And on, let me move this here real quick. Sorry, I see a screen here that you're not seeing, so I want to make sure I move that. All right, so on the right-hand side, you're going to see your smartphone number. So your smartphone number is one that is assigned to an office. So a smartphone number it's called smart because there's some artificial, well, there's some intelligence behind it. I don't know if there's artificial intelligence, but there is some intelligence behind it. There's some technology behind it to where multiple users can use that same phone number, but no one is receiving all of the calls. So as an example, if this phone number, this smartphone number, you see it in the wild, chances are that it's not going to come to me. Chances are that if you were to call that number right now, it wouldn't come to me. It would go round robin into another agent in my office. So that's what a smartphone number is. The only way that it would come to me, the only way that a call on that particular phone number would come to me would be if I already had you in my database. If I already had your phone number in my database, you're already a lead in my database, then if that number were to get called or get texted, I would get that text or call. So a smart number is basically has multiple users in it. Now, what I can do is I can have my own smart number, and I believe the cost for that is $27 a month. So I can have my own unique smartphone number that will allow all of the leads to come to me, everything that's texted, everything that's called. So I have that smart number that now I can run all types of campaigns. I can run texting campaigns. I can run voicemail drop campaigns. I can run all these other types of campaigns without me being concerned if a inbound call, so somebody reaching inbound, someone's reaching out to me, is going to get routed to me. Because again, if you use that phone number out in the wild, there's no guarantee. In fact, there is a guarantee that it won't come to me because there's thousands of agents that are sharing this specific phone number within the office that I'm a part of, right? So that's a little bit about the smartphone number. I spent a little bit more time than I wanted to there, but I just wanted you to see that because it's really that important. We're going to use a lot of that for our time moving forward. So the only other thing I wanted to show you real quick was, and I missed it, the only other thing I wanted to show you here was the website that we talked about. This is the website that you would get assigned. Now, you can modify the design, you can modify what's back there, you can modify what gets highlighted, and you can also modify the rest of the layout. This is just the layout that I preferred, but what you can see is that it's a very clean looking website. It's one that goes directly into the, it has an IDX component, which is basically a feed into the MLS, so people can go onto your website and start searching. So if somebody was looking for Arlington homes or Dallas homes and they wanted to put some additional search criteria, they would just hit search and they're on their way, right? So they have this feature, this capability is there for them. Now that's what the website looks like, but what I want to show you is on the My Profile, this is where you fill out the rest of your information. This is where you fill out contact information. This is where you fill out social media information, everything that you want to be reflected on your website. This is where you would go to do that. So here a little bit about yourself. If you're going to be sending emails out through here, and you're going to see the different ways to send out emails, you can include your signature. In my particular one, I don't send out really any emails through here because of my email database that I have is so large. I just find it easier to stay with my particular platform that I have now, which is Aweber. But you can absolutely do all of your email sends from here. But this is where you would go to create your or update all of your information. So lenders can come into, this is office based if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, you have different lenders that add themselves or get added by other agents that are working with these lenders. Teams, if you are operating within the team or have a team here, you would see their activity there. The office, so if you had larger capabilities, which I am part of the office, I'm not the owner of the office, I would see more information here. And then the website. So again, this is more from an administrative dashboard that would be most beneficial. But what's most important for you here is to go to your particular profile and change whatever you need to update. So one of your first task assignments or your homework assignments would be to come in here and fill everything out. Because what you're going to find is once you get your kvCORE website or your kvCORE all together, you're going to find that a lot of users don't even have their image. So that's a huge disservice that you're doing to yourself, because this is something that you have access to immediately. So I want to make sure that you understand where to go to do that. So that's up here on the top right hand side. So here, just a little bit of a history. So the history of the activity that's been going on. Here is notifications on tasks that have been completed. Here you can connect your emails and send emails from here. So you'll see emails that are coming in. You'll see emails that are going out. And then quick actions. Once you log in, one of the most, I'm losing my little grip over here. One of the best things that you can do is start using quick actions a lot more, because once you log into your kvCORE, even the simple act of going down here, going down the listings, or going to the dashboard, or doing this, that, or the other, it's a wasted click, in my opinion. Just go into quick actions, add a contact, and boom, you're ready to go. Right? So just quick actions. It's often overlooked because it's at the top right, so it's out of sight, out of mind. But this will allow you to navigate your kvCORE much easier. So dashboard, it'll let you know what's going on with the calls that you need to make today, the tasks that you need to complete today. If you have some playbooks going, which we'll talk about in the next section, you'll see that there. Once people are starting to look at your emails, you'll see when they're clicked on, you'll see when there's some activity. You also look at the activity of some of the people that are viewing properties that, like this Corby, they viewed this property, and they'll let you know if they started, they'll let you know if they favorited it, they'll let you know, which is the same thing, they'll let you know what type of activity they are having with that particular property. So this is a dashboard of letting you know what's going on. And once you start seeing people clicking on properties, then that's when you can go in and engage with those individuals. So it gives you that visibility into what your clients are doing. So if you've been working with the buyer as an example, and they continue to come back to the website, continue to open your emails, they may not respond to your emails, but they continue going to your emails, and all the say searches that you're sending them and all the information that you're sending them, you're seeing that they're opening it. You're seeing that they're navigating through it. So that would be a great opportunity for you to text. That would be a great opportunity for you to call. That would be a great opportunity to engage. So it lets you know who the people are that are a little bit closer to a transaction simply because of their actions. So this is that transparency that you're not getting with most other real estate CRMs. That's why I really like kvCORE, which lets you see that. All right, so playbooks simplify and automate the best practices of everyday's activities. We've combined the most high-value, high-impact features in kvCORE with the best practices of top real estate agents to create a simple blah, 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 blah. So basically what this does is it's taken a lot of the activities that I've been teaching for years. I'm not saying that they copied me. Although I did give them my feedback on before they were creating these playbooks. So I don't want to say I had a hand in doing this, but I also don't want to say that I didn't, right? So I want to give you, when it comes to unpacking kvCORE, we know that it's a bit much, right? So that's why a video like this, I'm giving you already the high value, the high impact, similar to what they're doing on the playbooks, except we're going one step further. You're going to see what that means here shortly. But basically, it's a combination of creating landing pages, combination of creating squeeze pages, combination of creating email autoresponding, and all that fun stuff. So it takes kind of like a checklist of what you should do with properties that you're taking out to market in this example, and it breaks that open. So you see, if you open up a playbook and you select a listing, it'll create a little summary of what needs to happen. Oh, where is it? We'll come back to this. So it creates a little summary of what needs to happen in your business. All right, so smart CRM. This is where you're going to see all of your leads warehoused. Now you can filter them out based off of their status. You can filter them out based off of assigned users. If you have other people in your database, you can pretty much filter them out with just about everything that you want to know. If they're buyers, if they're sellers, if they're set up on alerts, if they are on campaigns, if whatever it is that you want to filter out, you can absolutely do that, right? So this lets you know, or gives you a good little snapshot once you start getting hundreds into thousands of leads. So this particular one has 1,200, well, almost 2,000 leads, 2,000 contacts. So I can filter out based off of what they're searching for, based off of their price points and different activities. Now, moving from, let's go through here, and then we'll go into some into the actual profiles themselves. If I wanted to do something like email my buyer leads as an example, or email just a certain amount of people, I could just select, I could create my little filter right here of who I wanted to reach, and then whoever is left, let's go to, I want to have 250 rows. Whoever is left, I can highlight all of the ones that are left. It'll take a little while to get that filtered out, but whoever shows up on my filter, I can select that and I can mass email. Now I'm going to show you how to actually mass email correctly. This one has a limitation on the amount of emails that you can send. I can mass text, so I can send all of these people a mass text. I can video message them, which they use BombBomb, which here it's called KV Core, I believe. So they use BombBomb as a technology behind that to get those sent out. But you can also add hashtags. You can also change status. So for those of you that are cleaning up your KV Core, that are cleaning up your database, and you want to start tagging people appropriately, tagging buyers as buyers, sellers as sellers, this is a great way for you to do that, where you can add hashtags instantly. You can delete, you can export, you can do all that fun stuff. So it gives you a good control, without you having to click into each one of these profiles and get all of this updated, because that's going to take forever. So if I wanted to check on this lead as an example, now we're going into the profiles. The profiles, as you see here, this is what a profile looks like. Now you would have their name up here. This particular person just gave me their email, but you would have their name up here. So I would just change that to the first name and last name. But what's important for you here is to select who they are appropriately, right? So if they're buyers, select buyers. If they're sellers, select sellers. If they're an agent, select an agent. In this particular case, they're an agent, I believe. So I would select agent. Now hashtags, this is what's really, really important, especially as you get your marketing going. When you're looking at sending out emails en masse, when you're looking at sending out text en masse, when you're looking to do X, Y, and Z of any kind, especially as you're sending out more and more information, more and more contacts, well, more and more communications, your hashtags are going to really dictate everything, in my opinion. Now, you can do it based off of status. You can do it based off of if they're looking to buy, this status right here, where they are. You can do it based off of different criterias, but what I find most actionable, if you will, I find hashtags to be the most reliable, because then I can filter out those home buyers from 2022. I can filter out those home buyers from 2021. I can filter out those buyers from X, Y, and Z. So if you look here, I see, oops. You see 2019 buyer, 2020 buyer, 2018 buyer, 2017 buyer. So I have a global hashtag. So past buyer, they're just a past buyer period. I have the ones that bought in 2017. I have the ones that bought in 2018, 2019, 2020, and so on and so forth. So I have a master hashtag that just goes back to everybody. And I also have those people that bought in a certain year. So once I go into the year of this recording is 2022, then I can go into see, hey, who bought 5 years ago? Let's have a conversation, right? So the hashtags, again, is so important. And for you to get started, it's going to be up to you. But what I would suggest here, I'm not going to be able to edit. Let's go here real quick. For hashtags, let's just get this done. You'll want a buyer hashtag. You'll want a seller hashtag at bare minimum. At bare minimum, you're going to want a buyer hashtag and a seller hashtag. So whether you want buyer lead, and then if you want to go further, and this is how you start creating your tree, your hashtag tree. So buyer lead, if they're just a lead altogether, or buyer client. Don't make it too complicated. I know that just by me saying that, it's a bit hypocritical because you saw how complicated I made it. But start off with your little tree here. So this is what we're building out. So you have a buyer lead and a buyer client. That's it. You don't need any more. You don't need any less. That's all you need. Buyer lead or a buyer client. Seller, same thing. Seller lead, seller client. Now, if you want to take it one step further, like how you saw me do it, then I would put 20 client. Actually, I would put seller in that case. Kind of what you saw there in my previous example, right? It all comes down to you. Just so in this case, if I was gonna tag this person, if this person was a seller for me, then I would put seller client. They became a client. I would remove the seller lead because they were no longer a seller lead, seller client, and then 2022 client or seller. I'm sorry. So these would be the two tags that I associate to them. And you can get more and more. You can get more and more complex. So something else that you can add is a Facebook lead. Let's see here. The sources is something that I navigate. So you see the source right here. You can use based off the sources. Where did you get this business from? So let's see. Hopefully somebody useful shows up real quick. All right, so you see right here, buyer lead and triplex Bishop Arts. So this lets me know that I ran a campaign, and that campaign was a triplex in Bishop Arts, so here in Dallas, Texas. So this campaign came from that. So that's why I use hashtags to really check everything. Like here you see that this was an import from when I transitioned from LionDesk into kvCORE. So this was an import that I did from back then, right? So they were a buyer lead, and then in this case, they were an import. So that lets me know where the leads came from. So that's why hashtags, again, it may sound a little bit overcomplicated, but once you get your little tree, your hashtag tree is what I call it. Once you get this determined, then it's going to be super easy for you. It's just starting out, getting into the habit and adding hashtags. But once you get into the habit, it's so simple, and it's going to make your decision making so much better. You're going to find that after a year, you can go back into your CRM and see, well, who closed? Let's see. I had 12 seller clients and I had 5 buyer clients. Cool. That was a great year. And then if you start finding something to the effect of this came from a Facebook ad and half of my business was a Facebook ad, well, dang, that lets me know that I should probably start doing more Facebook ads. Or if you find that you spent $50,000 on Facebook/Meta ads and you close no business from it, that lets you know a lot, right? So it's these decisions that we need to be able to make in retrospect. I know it's a pain to get this done now, but it's much easier for you to start now and get into this habit. That's why we're spending some time on the hashtags, because this is going to dictate how you send out emails. It's going to dictate how you follow up. It's going to dictate how you can automate so much on the back end. So that's why I want to spend some time here. Let me know if you have any questions on that, because I know it's a bit much. Wow, who needs coaching with kvCORE? All we need is commitment to learn. Awesome. Are you committed, Francisco? What are you doing? I'm curious. Do you have your transaction checklist built in for when they are under contract? You can do that answer to that is no. I have that on Notion. I have a entire what I call it home rocket buyer the buyer, what do I call it? Let me look over here. So I know what you're saying, but I don't have that in kvCORE. I have it in Notion. I have the home selling rocket ship and the home buyer rocket ship. So I have everything that needs to happen in one place. It just doesn't happen to be in kvCORE. But let's go back here. Now the rest is pretty self-explanatory, but as you see here, you have the hashtags as we talked about. You can update your information, a little bit of summary of what's going on, who's working it, and this is more relevant if you have a team and all that comes with it. And you see the history of communication. So when you send text, when you sent out an email, when they open the email, when they unsubscribe. So as you can see here, they unsubscribe from that. And then the actions. So you can take actions directly from kvCORE. So you can call from here if you're connected to a phone line. You can do a voicemail drop. Core Present is that video. Core Video is that video component that I was talking to you about, and several other actions that you can do with this particular lead. And if you have any property alerts going to them, any active campaigns that are happening right now. So if they're in an automation, so if somebody responds and says, hey, get me out of here, even though they could easily unsubscribe themselves, you can unsubscribe for them, right? So this gives you that level of control. Now the rest of this I'll let you check out on the actually I have another video that talks all about alerts, so you can go and check that out on my YouTube channel. But this is essentially your safe searches that you can set up. So you can send them the safe searches as they come through and get alerts on the properties that make sense for them and all that fun stuff. Any questions? I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes, I'm committed. You're going to be a great sponsor for us at EXP. Boom. I appreciate you, my friend. I'm glad you're here. You're absolutely right. Just that little commitment. That's the it's actually, speaking of commitment, that's where we're actually going. So I'm glad that you must have seen my presentation, because here's a little thing I wanted to cover. Simple lead generation strategies. We're going to go into the lead generation strategies right now, because kvCORE being unused doesn't do you any good, right? You can have kvCORE and not do anything with it, and that would be a waste of money if you're paying for it. It would also be a waste of money if your broker was paying for it. So whoever it is that's paying for it, somebody's footing the cost. This isn't an altruistic motive that kvCORE just came into existence for people's benefit. No. Or just without attempting to make revenue. I mean, it's a business. So somebody is paying for kvCORE. So if you have access to kvCORE and are not using it, and you're saying that you don't have leads, it's your fault. It's a little bit change of pace. It's a little change of tenor than what you usually hear in this video, in this channel. But if you have kvCORE and are not using it to generate leads with you, it's not going to generate leads for you. It's going to generate leads with you. So oftentimes we get comments in the comment section saying, hey, Is KV Core good for lead generation? Well, it depends how depends how you're going to use it. KV Core is not going to go out there and get people to come to you. You need to learn how to weaponize KV Core and generate you business. So that's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Essentially, I like to use KV Core for lead and transaction management. Not sure if that's possible. Your opinion? I wouldn't. That's a downside. There's an integration that you can do for transaction management. I would create my own. In fact, I recorded a video yesterday. It's not out yet. It's with my editor, but I set up a free real estate CRM real time that keeps the transaction management. So it actually does your helps you do the transaction management the way that you want it. So that's a little bit different than what we're talking about here. But when it comes to KV Core, if I had to give it one knock, it would be the transaction management component. Is really not that good here. So no, I would not. I would not do to answer your question, Federico, I'd like to use KV Core for lead and transaction management. Not sure if that's possible, your opinion. Lead management, you can do. That's fine. That's good all day long. Transaction management, not so much. Alrighty, so let's go into the lead generation strategies. And to do that, we're going to go to listings. So listings you can filter out pretty much like anything that you can do on the MLS, you can do here with your listings. Now, the goal here is to generate conversations. The goal here is for somebody to reach out and give you their contact information, lead generation, contact sports. This is a contact sport. So you need as many folks to have a conversation with. This is the contact part. So I'm going to show you three very practical ways for you to generate some business. All right. So let me know in the chat if you'd like to learn more lead generation strategies, then let me know that I only scheduled 3 here. So if you want me to do more, then just let me know in the chat. But I want to make sure that we stay on pace. First things first, you're going to go to listings, whether it's your listing, whether it's the company listing, so your brokerage listings, or select manual listings. You can actually put the MLS number here and it would populate a home. So let's do this. Minimum year. I want new builds. Apply filter. I'll show you a strategy right now. And folks, people will sell you this information. I hope that you can appreciate that this is a free strategy, that a lot of the people that are charging you $1,000 for a course are coming to this YouTube because I see them. I see them comment. I see them asking questions for clarification. And then I see an ad over on Facebook/Meta and then sell you this information. So hopefully that at least warrants a like. So a like is all I'm asking for right now. All right, new builds. Let's see what's going on in new build world. We have, let's see. This one looks like this one looks like a rendering. That looks like a rendering. This one looks like an actual built home. Is it? Yeah, it's about done. Cool. Good looking home. All right. So it's a brand new home. It's almost done. So here's what we would do. Now that we've gone into the listing itself, remember we went to listings. Now what we can do is we're going to go over here to the more actions. Now I'll show you how to work your own database right now. Like remember, going into hashtags, if you had buyers already categorized the way that you were supposed to, then you can text to an entire hashtag. You can text this to all of your home buyers at once. Check out this amazing property. Boom. And it's done. You can email this to a specific hashtag and it would go out. So it would save you hours and hours of hours every single week, every single month, depending on how much business you're doing. Now, what you can do though, that is really converting the database that you have, right? That's not necessarily sparking up new conversations with new people, But if you wanted to market it to new people, you would just go to Craigslist. And to do this, just as a heads up, I already have it set up, but you're going to need to get a plugin. And once you click Craigslist, it's going to say, hey, you can't do it. You need a Chrome plugin. You just go to you would just go to the App Store. It's free. You install it, allow for you to share the geographic area of where you're at, so the location base, and then you can connect. So given that Craigslist is, I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there's different locations. So if you're in a smaller location that doesn't have as much, then it's going to automatically go in. But with Craigslist, the way that it works is Dallas-Fort Worth is broken up into 5 different spaces: Dallas-Fort Worth, Mid-Cities, North DFW, South DFW. Now, this is going way too much into depth, but I want you to understand this clearly. With Craigslist, you can't go into infinity posting. You just can't. With Craigslist, you can post up to 3 locations, or so I could post once in 3 different locations, post the same thing in 3 different locations. So this particular property, I could post it in how I typically do it is Dallas, Fort Worth, and then South DFW, because that's actually where I live, in south of Fort Worth. So I would post it in 3 different areas, but I would go into Dallas to start off, and the rest, I didn't press anything. It built it out for me, and I'm done. Now, I used to teach this strategy back when I had Line Desk, which, again, as a reminder for everyone, Line Desk sucks. Let me know in the chat if you think Line Desk sucks. I know that I'm going hard after them, but they've just been really letting me down lately. When it comes to, this is something that I used to do manually. This is something that I used to do. I had VAs actually doing this for me and for my agents. But now with one click of a button, it's already done. Right? So then people would just text this to that, and then you're getting details. Right? So it's something that is just so simple to do. And you just hit publish and you're on your way. Now you can edit this. In fact, I actually do end up editing it slightly because I want a higher conversion. What I do is I change this up slightly and then I delete a few images. But when you go to images, I'm sorry, no, this does a featured image. What am I saying? I delete the description slightly just to make it a bit more appealing. And still, what I do keep is the text feature. But that all requires just one press of the button. Right? So that's one lead generation strategy that you absolutely need to start doing, because that is free for you to do. Right? So now let me find my other screen real quick. So many screens. All right. Marketplace. Meta Marketplace. This is another strategy that I want to share with you. So again, Craigslist was free. Meta Marketplace is another free one. So when you go to Marketplace on Meta or on Facebook, you just type in Marketplace and it'll bring you here, and you're going to create a listing. So when you create the listing, so you see there's several listings right now. When you create the listing, you can create the listing for that new build. Now, here's something very important. If this is, I'm in Texas, so understand your laws, rules, and regulations. If you're in Texas, if your broker has the listing, then you can market that property, because all the listings, whether you're the one that brought the listing to the table or one of your fellow agents brought the listing to the table, your broker has the right to that. So you could actually market that property because it's the broker's listing. You could market that property without asking for the agent's permission. Now, as a general rule of thumb, what I share with my agents is ask for that permission anyway. Right? So here I'm just using it as an example. I'm assuming that you have rights to market this property. So Whether you ask for permission or not, that's up to you. Know your state rules, laws, regulations, your broker's rules, laws, regulations, whatever. So I'm just showing you capabilities. So just make sure that you understand what's happening there. When I go to create a home for sale, I'm going to do basically the same thing that I just did on Marketplace, but now I have to do it manually. So I would put an image, I would put a bit of the description, I would put some additional informations, and then people can reach out to me, right? So that's something that you can do on Marketplace. That I have an entire video that details all that you can do with Marketplace. But the reason I wanted to show you that was because once people are DMing you, hey, is this property still available? Hey, is this property still available? Because that's how Marketplace works. Everyone is going to go into your DM, so direct message, so you see their actual profile. You can just send them this link, which this particular link is going to have a forced registration. Now, when somebody clicks on it, they would have to give you their contact information, like their emails or phone numbers, if they wanted the rest of the information moving forward. So that's another strategy that you can use. So you can do this every single day. You can do this. Well, with Craigslist, you'd have to use 2 emails. I know it gets a little bit complicated, but with Craigslist, since it has a 48-hour kind of like a cool down zone, cool down time period, where you can post that property 3 times, or in 3 different areas. You saw Dallas, Fort Worth, South DFW, and then you have to wait 48 hours before you can do that again. So if you want to put it on your calendar at 8 a.m. or at 10 a.m. every single day, I'm going to post this, or every other day I'm going to post it, then that's part of your strategy. But what I do is, or what I share my agents to do, is post with one email on Monday, post with another email on Tuesday, post with that Monday email on Wednesday, and then I just alternate that way. With Marketplace, this is something that you have to play around with. You don't want to spam Marketplace. You want to make sure that whenever you create a new posting, a new listing, don't go out and create duplicates, because now Meta actually won't even allow you. So what you can do is you can delete the previous one that you created and start a new one, or just give it some time to generate you business, and then start with another one. So on Mondays, promote one property. On Tuesday, promote the other property. Wednesday, promote another property, and so on and so forth, because that will allow you that good balance, so you're not seen as a spammer. And then with Meta ads, very much the same thing. With Meta ads, all you have to do, let me see if I can pull that up quickly. With Meta ads, this is using very much the same strategy. Notice that we're trying to keep the same ad at the forefront. Any questions so far? Let me know in the comments section down below if you have any questions. Also, don't forget to hit that like button. It's going to help out the channel tremendously. Let me see if I can find one real quick. This one didn't do terrible. I'll show you this one. All right, so this particular ad, 18 leads, $3.43 per lead. This was a new build home. So you see it right away by the house. And this is the ad copy that I used. So you're seeing some real-time results. You can't run this ad update. Oh yeah, that's right. That's why I shut it down. In the ad form, I was qualifying them with their credit and their income, which you can't do any longer. This was several months back. But if you're asking for the name, the email, and the phone number, you shouldn't have an issue. But at that time, I was collecting their budget, I was collecting their timeline, I was collecting their credit score. So I was asking for more information that they now deem pretty discriminatory. So that's up to them. But with all that being said, I'm still this still works. It's just with that particular form that I was asking that information with, where it was back here, back in 2020, I was asking for more information than they would care for at the moment. But this is very much using the same strategy, identifying a new build. In this case, they had this, and I believe this is a DR Horton home. Notice that I don't say that it's a DR Horton home at all. I just give the perks in this particular community. When they reach out to me, that's when I actually share, hey, it's a DR Horton home. Let's go check it out, right? So when it comes to your ads, your meta ads / Facebook ads, that's how simple that you can do it. And I'm going to show you how to actually connect the meta ads with your follow-up system so you can automate this, so the text can go out, so your emails can go out, so your tasks can get assigned. That way you don't have to guess or try to remember, hey, did I reach out to this lead or not? You're going to be able to automate that. All right, so meta integration, install the meta pixel. And then API Nation or Zapier. So let's talk about the meta pixel. Make sure that I get this set up real quick. Actually, no, you're not seeing that, are you? There we go. Let's bring it back because I want you to see it. All right, so going into your meta pixel, let me get rid of some screens over here. Install your meta pixel. Let's talk about what the meta pixel is. Your meta pixel is basically a tag, a little script that when somebody goes into your website and looks at one of your properties and doesn't give you their contact information, it doesn't matter if they give you their contact information or not. You're going to be able to retarget them with an ad later on. So, hey, I noticed that you went to my website. I wanted you to check out these homes under $500,000 or these off-market properties. So just think about what we're talking about. And yes, I understand that there's an iOS update, and we'll talk about that here shortly. But with your pixel, what you're looking for is you're retargeting. Have a way to capture not capture somebody's information, but you're able to show back up to those people that saw your website previously. So if they saw one of your landing pages, if they went to your website, if they engaged with you in some capacity but didn't give you their contact information, or even if they did, doesn't matter, you can retarget them. Now there is an iOS update, so it's the iOS update. If you have an iPhone, then there are some restrictions where the user gets to opt in or opt out. So just know that there are some restrictions. Not everybody that goes to your website is going to be able to be retargeted, but at the same time, you're able to collect data at the bare minimum, right? So when we go here, let me X out of that. And when I go right here, then I go to Events Manager. You see my pixel right there. And I go to Add Events. I go from a new website. I install code manually. Copy the code. I have the pixel code. I know I went super quick, but I have videos on this channel that show you how to do all of that. What we're looking for is that code. What we need is that code that we can embed on our kvCORE website. So anybody that visits there because they saw one of our ads, because they are family members, and I pointed them to it because I sent out an email for them to check out some of my properties, however they come across it, or whenever I did that meta marketplace and they DM'd me and then I sent them that single property website later on, once they land on that website, I can retarget them. Right now, they're going to see me everywhere. So it doesn't matter how you get the traffic, meaning the people on your website, whether you paid for it or it was organic, it doesn't matter. You're able to retarget them moving forward. So once you have that code, and if you haven't created a pixel, it's very simple to do. So you can either watch one of my websites or one of my videos on it, or other videos out there that talk about the pixel. But when you go here and you don't see this, it's going to ask you, hey, do you want to create a pixel code? Sure. But I'm going to go from I'm going to go to from a new website, install the code manually, and copy the code. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here to kvCORE. I'm going to go to Web and IDX. So you have our website manager. So you have, well, I'll show you a brief tour of what that looks like here shortly. But when I go to Edit Settings, I can select a different template. So you saw the template of my website. This is what it looks like. I can select a different template foundation. So not many other templates. The theme colors, the background image. So you see the background image right there that's being used. If I wanted to use this one or that one or whatever, this is rotating, I believe, then it'll show up. But what I want to show you is installing your code. You see this custom header? This is where it goes. I already have it there, so I'm not going to do it again, but this is where you just copy and paste it. Does that make sense? Again, this is installing your meta code. This is so you can do retargeting ads in the future. I see a lot of comments in the comment section saying, hey, can I run retargeting ads? Well, retargeting has just become a jargon word, a very buzzword. Retargeting is basically showing the ad to the same person again. Showing an ad to the same person again. That's basically it. That's retargeting. Whether you show the same ad or show a different ad to that same person, that's retargeting. And this is how you're able to do that. So if you have kvCORE, you can drive traffic to your pages organically or paid. Doesn't matter if you're running ads or if you're just doing all the organic strategies to bring people in, but then you're able to retarget them. So that's the installation of the Meta Pixel or the Facebook Pixel, so you know how that's done. Now, before we move forward, because once we introduce the concept of running ads, once we understand how that works, you can automate it to where as soon as the lead comes in, automation takes over. You can send out texts, you can send out emails, you can assign tasks to yourself, you can send out whatever you want to do. You can do integrations. Now, kvCORE itself, the CRM, partners with API Nation. API Nation, their whole thing is they do API integrations in the real estate space. That's their focus. So any integration into Zillow, any integration into Real.com, any integration into anything that has to do with real estate, that's where their niche is. That's what they're focused in. So they have a partnership with kvCORE. But that doesn't mean that that's the only way that you can connect the two, meaning Facebook/Meta and kvCORE. So you can connect Facebook/Meta into into kvCORE through API Nation, or you can connect via Zapier and several others, but I'm just going to talk about these two because those are the ones I have experience with. So API Nation is free. Is already included because they're partnered with kvCORE. That's already free. So you can do that connection between Facebook/Meta and kvCORE, or you can do the connection through Zapier, but that's going to cost you. So just know that from a pure financial standpoint, that's what we're looking at. Now, here's where I have to share my experience and also share, I guess, my experience. If given an opinion, this is an opinion. So if given the option, which one would I go with? Which connection, which tool would I use to connect the two? I would use Zapier. And I use Zapier. So for my personal accounts, whenever I'm running ads specifically for my kvCORE, for my own purposes, whether it's for a training, for a demo, or for whatever, or for any business that I want to get, I use Zapier because I'm already using an enterprise account. That's one. But even if I wasn't, the second reason is because it's more reliable. In my experience, in my opinion. I'm good friends with the API Nation people. I'm good friends with them. I think the world of Nick. I think of the world of those individuals that I email whenever the API Nation connection breaks, which happens a lot. But at the end of the day, I understand that there's a trade-off, right? There's a financial trade-off. So I use Zapier for all the connections between Facebook/Meta. I know you're getting tired of me saying that, but I just want to make sure everyone understands what I'm talking about. Facebook/Meta and kvCORE. I use Zapier. For my agents that either partner with me, because we do all their lead generation for them. So we run these ads, we do the integrations. For the agents that work with me, so the agents that join EXP and become part of my group, we do their lead generation for them. So we make these integrations. So for my agents, we use the API Nation. The reason is because it's free, right? So we can work around some glitches here and there. There's sometimes it does break down, so we have to figure out what's going on. But at the end of the day, it's free. You can't beat that. But when it comes to the personal preference, again, I use Zapier, and it's something I use personally because I already have the enterprise account, and also it's more reliable. And the amount of volume that we're running through every single day, it just doesn't make sense for us to use anything else. But again, for the API Nation, I'll show you where to do that. There's nothing, I was about to say there's nothing wrong with it, but no, there's obviously is, or else I'd be using it. All right, so that's a little bit about that. I wanted to show you the differences between the API Nation, but I want to share with you the conversion strategies and how to deploy them. And then you'll see how we integrate API Nation into the 30-day lead conversion. So let's talk about communication. Let's talk about marketing. There's a lot of other cool things here, and I have a video that breaks down each one of these, so you're going to want to check those out. But what I want to talk about is, let's say you have your database of 1 million people, however large your database is. If you're not reaching out to them, if they haven't heard from you in the last 30 days, you're doing it wrong. Let me say that again. If your database has not heard from you in the last 30 days, you're doing it wrong. You worked so hard. You spent a lot of money. You spent a lot of time generating all these people reaching out to you, or you reaching out to them, essentially them getting into your database. If they haven't heard from you in the last 30 days, you're doing it wrong. So let me know in the comments section, yes, if they have heard from you in the last 30 days, or no, if your database has not, because we're getting ready to fix that today. So if your database has not heard from you in the last 30 days, you're doing it wrong. And this is one simple way for you to fix it. So we have the 365-day campaign, so the yearly campaign. That is very, very simple to implement. And all you have to do is schedule mass emails. So remember when we went to the Smart CRM and I selected all of the leads, or I did a little bit of a filter and I selected all of the leads. Let me change this back up because it's going to take so long to load. So I selected all the leads and I did a mass text. Well, there's a limit to the amount of emails that you can send, and I can't for the life of me remember what it is. I just know that it's not very much. So you can send out mass emails, but there's a limit. If I had to guess, it would probably be 250 if I had to guess, because that's the most rows that you can have. But anyway, that's not the correct way of doing it, because there with you mass texting, that implies that you're trying to send that email on the spot. You want to automate this. You don't want to have to be behind the computer screen every single time to send out an email. You want to schedule this far in advance. So that's how you do scheduled emails. So you want your database to all hear from you January 1st, beginning of the year. You want them to hear from you when it's time to protest property taxes. You want them to hear from you July 4th to wish them happy birthday. Yeah, happy birthday, America. Oh my gosh, happy Independence Day. Whenever you want to send out scheduled emails, like on the day, you need to go with scheduled emails. So you're going to go to get started. And then you see here, previous email sends. So Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all this other stuff. So you can schedule an email ahead of time. Now you can send email dependent on either safe matching. Do you see contacts matching criteria for safe filter or hashtags? This is where I operate. Again, this is once you create your hashtags, your world of marketing has changed. So you can email all of your buyer leads, all of your seller leads, all of your past clients, all of your whatevers. You can do that through here. So here, if you wanted to send an email to all buyers or buyer leads, now everyone in your database that's tagged a buyer lead will get this. And then you create the email and you schedule it when you want it to go. That's a scheduled email. And you schedule it out for the year, right? So here, this is the yearly drip. You see the buyer leads, seller leads, past buyer, past seller, getting everybody to get the same type of email, right? So again, as I mentioned, I am more operating on the Aweber side now, so this one doesn't get used all that much. In fact, it doesn't get used at all, but just want you to see where you can do all the mass scheduled emails so you can be ahead of the game. So when January hits, your emails for January go out, your emails for February go out, your emails for March. So take some time before the end of the year or whenever you're getting this launched. I understand that you're probably watching this now and you might not have this. Spend some time to schedule out the rest of your content, the rest of the emails that you're going to send out on a systematic basis. So what I encourage agents to do is in December, start using that lull period, that down period, and start your next year's schedule all the way through December again. So work on your next year's 365 days. So you know that they at least hear from you. So you saw here October 1st, and then again in right here, identify red flags. This is a subject header. A month later, and then happy Thanksgiving, and then a new year begins today. So giving them another email, right? So let me know if you have any questions on that. That's how you send out the 365-day drip. Now, if you're interested in the drip, then I will link it down below along with my email drips that I use to convert the leads. But this is what essentially it's going to look like. So it's all action-based. Let me rephrase that. It's all practical advice. It's all something that the users can take some action on, as opposed to saying, hey, I'm the top producer. Hey, I'm the best. Hey, I'm the whatever. Nobody cares. Give people information that they can use in order to stay on your database, on your email sends. All right, so let's go to this. Actually, let's not go to that. Let's go back to marketing. Now let's talk about your 30-day lead conversion. So as you saw, you can run ads. As you saw, people will come into your world, right? Whether they come to your world from sphere marketing, whether you do open houses, whether you do direct mail, whether you run ads, whether you post organically, whatever the case may be, if you use the hashtags you're about to see, your life is going to be transformed. So that is all done through Smart Campaigns. So basically it's an email follow-up. It's a text follow-up. It's a way for you to automate. Build and manage your campaigns. So we're going to go to manage campaigns. All right, so I'm going to show you how to create a campaign right now. And this is all contingent upon when a lead comes into your world. So this is the important thing to distinguish between your scheduling emails, you're scheduling on a specific day. It doesn't matter when somebody comes into your database. Whoever happens to be subscribed on that July 4th, they're going to get that email. That's how you go based off of the calendar. So you can pinpoint what day, what time, whatever you want an email to go out or a text to go out. Well, an email in that case, because it's a scheduled email. You select a specific day. Here, it's a little bit different. Here, it's contingent upon when somebody enters your world. So if a lead comes in on a Saturday, I want an email to go out that Sunday, a day later. That's what these smart campaigns are. That's what drips are. So it's contingent upon when somebody enters your world, right? So what we can do is we can schedule several touches, and you'll see what that looks like here in a little bit, but all of it is based off of the template. So first, you can't come in here and create specific things like specific emails. You have to create a template. Now, you can use their library. You can use kvCORE has an extensive library that you can go through and look at. There's 27 different types of campaigns. So you can select the emails that go out, the texts that go out. You can modify them. You can do all that stuff. You can just add them to your library and make modifications, or you can create your own templates. So if I wanted to create an email template, I would just go to add an email template over here, or a text template, tax template, and so on and so forth. So if I wanted to do an email template, I would put it to myself here, and then I would label that email what I want it to be called, the subject, and what I want that email to say, right? So I'll just, for the sake of time, I want to show you. I should have this one, if I remember correctly. All right, so here. This was a Crowley new construction. This is the community that I was targeting at one point in time. So this was an ad that I ran. So I ran an ad very similar to the one that you saw previously that said Cleburne. So it was very much the same ad, except here it was in Crowley, and then I'm delivering on the goodies. Hey, thank you for your interest in the new construction home community going up in the Crowley Burleson area. Click here for the list of blah, blah, blah. And then this was my first email to them. So take that exact ad copy and just swap out Cleburne, because it's actually the same builder, and type it and put in Crowley, and you see the entire thing that I used. So here is that first email that went out, me delivering on what I promised, the additional floor plans, the prices, the pictures, and all that fun stuff. So this was me putting the best foot forward by delivering on what I promised over on the email. So this is the first email that they got. All right. And then here, immediately after, well, actually a few days, the following day, I would hit them up with this email. Hey, thanks again for requesting. And then I would send it to them again. And then I would provide some value. So remember, when it comes to these emails, something that they can use, something practical, something value-based, it's what's important. That's what's going to actually convert. Nobody gives a crap if you're a top producer. People want to know what's in it for them. And this is exactly what I was sending them. So you see exactly what was being sent back in the day. Now, same thing over here. When I go to text messages, if I type in Crescent, and these are all emails that you create. And these are all emails that, again, if you're interested in the drips, then they'll be linked down below. But you see the exact text that was sent out. Hey, I just received a request for a new construction home list. You should see it in your email box shortly. Email inbox shortly. And the second email, this is Jaime Resendiz, by the way. There it is. Right? Now, you can integrate something else. You can integrate a call component. So you clone, so you see basically it's a task. So if you go to task real quick, you can add a task. You can go to task template, and you can assign yourself a task. Hey, call or do this or do that. But here it's just basically these are tasks. So you'll see what that looks like in a little bit. But first, create your emails that you want to send, create your text that you want to send, create any task that you want to have, but most of the tasks are already created, so you don't have to worry about that. And the best practice that you can do, by the way, is you see that there's a text, connect, call, task, test, connect. Add one of these into your library to see what theirs looks like, so you can get a feel for what they're sending out, how to use the system, and all that fun stuff. But I want to show you how to actually connect everything. So let's just say I've already created the ad. So you saw the ad previously, and if you haven't, if you just came to the live stream or fast forwarded, go back in time in this video, and you see the exact ad that I ran. And that ad was a lead generation ad. So it created a form within Meta, within Facebook. Once you've created that, you can come over here and create the campaign that you want to trigger after the fact. So once a lead comes in, you want Meta and kvCORE to talk, and you could either use API Nation, which you saw the pros and cons a little bit earlier, or you can use Zapier to make that connection, right? But once you come here, you need to create what's going to go out as soon as the lead comes in. Now, let me make sure I get a question answered real quick. You stated you utilize Aweber. How is Aweber a better email format? It's not about format, it's just about capability. So I get better reporting through Aweber, and I just have so many different funnels coming into Aweber. I have funnels on basically leads coming in from Aweber itself. So I have landing pages through Aweber. I have automations from Thinkific. So that's where a lot of my programs are hosted, on Thinkific. So that's coming into Aweber. I have some of my programs on ClickFunnels. They're coming into Aweber. I have some of my programs on my website, which is on WordPress, JaimeResendiz.com, and they're coming into Aweber. I could not do that through kvCORE. Well, let me rephrase that. I could, but it's just, I would be retrofitting something that's specifically for real estate agents and the IDX and all that fun stuff. Aweber just provides a whole nother world. I can have a cart on Aweber. So there's a lot of different things that I needed to do outside of the real estate space and in what I do now, which is helping real estate agents more often than helping buyers or sellers. In fact, I'm out of production now. So that's why you see a lot of the stuff just kind of end a few years ago. So that's a little bit of why I went with Aweber, because it made more sense for my business, the way that it's operated now. All right. So once you have your website, your meta ad, your Facebook ad launched or ready to go, then you're going to come over here and create your templates. Every email that you want to send, every text that you want to send out. That would be the first step. The second step would be over here and create a campaign. So we go back to hashtags. Remember, hashtags are going to drive your conversion strategy and really all of your marketing strategy if you do it right. Here, if you assign when a lead comes in new, you are going to be in for a hurt unless you provide a very bland follow-up drip, because somebody could come in from an ad, somebody can come in from an open house, somebody can come in from your sphere of influence, or you just put somebody in for the sake of putting somebody in. And if they're assigned new, then the marketing campaign triggers. So just be careful. That's why I strongly recommend that you use hashtags in every campaign that you can think of, because that gives you more control. So here, if I was going to run that ad again, you could probably even see that same ad. There it is. So this was the hashtag that I used that I showed you here earlier of those emails that were going out. This is the hashtag that I used. So as soon as a lead came in, everyone that got that hashtag would be getting the emails. So I would select a hashtag or create a new hashtag. I would put always run, lock, no, just leave it as that. And then I would assign that they're buyers because they were. Because remember, that ad is designed to get some buyers. The campaign name, I would just call it Crescent V2 YouTube, just so I can come back and delete it later. And I just copy this because it doesn't let you go without you selecting something in the campaign. And then I would hit finish. And there it is right there. Now, if you look at my previous emails, like the Cleburne one, the other ad that you saw, it was Cleburne, Belle Claire. That was a campaign, and I only had 5 touches. Here, the campaign that I just created has no touches, which we're about to fix that. So remember, step number 1, get your ad going. Step number 2, create your templates. Step number 3, create your campaign. This is going to be the shell. This is the marketing campaign. Step number 4, you're going to click through here, and you're going to pull in those emails. You're going to pull in those texts that you just set. So you're going to go add an action, add an email. And then we just email template Crescent E1. It's going to go from agent, me, to contact, run immediately, add. And then I want to send out a text. So I'll go text. You would label it appropriately. I'm just going for sake of time. I'm just showing you the fast version. Run immediately. You can view the template if you want, just so you see it. And boom. Now, if you want to schedule them out, let's just say the email number 2, the second email that you have, let's go with Crowley E2. If you want to delay that for 1 day, boom. And so on and so forth. So you can build out a campaign. You can build out, I want these emails to go out immediately. I want these texts to go out immediately. I want this email to go out a day after I get that lead. a week after I get that lead, a month after I get that lead. You can build out long campaigns, but that's all contingent upon when they enter your world. You can also add a task if you want. Task. Let's see, buyer first interaction. You can, I don't do much with task, but let's see if one of them would make sense. Sphere, check in. If this was part of your, no, I should have created a task to show you, but I would put new home. I would put Crescent, new home, follow-up or something to that effect. And let's just say that this said, pretend that this said Crescent Springs check-in. And then I would select when I wanted to assign that. So just, let's go with 3, add. In 3 days, right? So an email would go out immediately, a text would go out immediately, an email would go out a day from there, and then 3 days later, I have a task to myself that would show up on my dashboard. You saw the dashboard here previously. I won't go there now, but you saw the dashboard previously. So when I show up and when I get my daily check-in email from kvCORE, it says you have 30 tasks to complete today. Then I can go in and see, oh, okay, I have to call this particular lead because they came 3 days ago and I haven't heard back, right? So it's a way for you to get a lot of what you should do in your mind. Like you're thinking, oh, I should do that, I should do that, I should do that. You take that from your mind into your paper because your mind is not designed to remember everything. Your mind doesn't work that way. As soon as you get a thought, write it down. As soon as you remember, hey, I need to do X, Y, and Z, get your phone out, take out your notes section and write it down. Your mind is not that good. It's not designed to memorize all this. So get those things onto paper or get those things onto somewhere where you can come back to it later. But anyway, I would activate the campaign once I get through with everything that I want. I would X out of that. And then now as a lead comes in, I'm going to turn it off real quick. As a lead comes in, regardless of where it comes from, it'll launch. All right, so as long as let me rephrase that. As long as it has that hashtag, it'll go, right? But now what you're gonna do is I just copy that real quick. We're not gonna go into actually creating the hashtag, but just so you see what happens next. So you launch the ad, right? You launch the lead generation ad. There's plenty of videos in this channel that show you how to do that. You launch that meta ad over on Facebook, meta ads. You launch that lead generation ad. You created your templates first, all the emails, all the texts, all the tasks that you wanted to create. You created your campaign. You went over here and created the campaign. You put in the task, which we just came from. You just saw all the tasks. Now it has 4 different tasks. There's email tasks, there's tasks, there's text tasks. So that's the other step. And the final step is making the connection between your meta ads and kvCORE. Because if you were to stop now, and a lot of the agents that I work with, unfortunately, don't go and finish all the way through. If you were to stop now, you haven't done anything. You've just launched ads, which is awesome, but you're going to have to go over to Meta or go over to Facebook and download those ads because they're not talking to kvCORE because you haven't set that connection up. And how you do that is either go to Zapier, and I have a video that shows you how to do that, or you go over here to Marketplace, and then in Marketplace, type in API Nation, learn more, and then add to kvCORE. It's going to be your same login. You can select Facebook ads, and then just watch this brief video. I have a video that shows you how to connect everything even further, but they've done a good job in giving you a breakdown of how to connect the new way. And then just connect to kvCORE, and what it's going to do is going to walk you step by step on how to connect your form from Meta, from Facebook, into kvCORE. It's going to have you first name gets mapped out to first name, last name gets mapped out to last name. It's going to ask you to create a custom field to connect your hashtag to the campaign that you're launching. So it's that one step alone, that hashtag connection, that's going to allow all the leads that come through from Meta, from Facebook, that will give you their name, their email, their phone number, their whatever else you ask for. It'll assign all those to the appropriate fields, and it'll automatically assign the hashtag, which is gonna launch the emails, which is gonna launch the text. Does that make sense? I want to make sure that you're on the same boat with me on that, because if you miss that step, then you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Let's see if it shows. I was kind of hoping some of the previous hashtags would show up. Apply filters. These are all the leads that came through from that campaign that I launched. So it was about 33 leads, and then you saw the phone call that was made. You saw the texts that were sent, the emails that were sent, and you saw all the communication that was had with them. So you see that they were categorized as a buyer lead, as a Cleburne Bell Claire lead, because I ran that ad. But again, I just want to remind you that if you have kvCORE, and if you're not leveraging at least the bare minimum, if you do half of what I showed you today, you're making a lot of money. You're making a lot of money with kvCORE. kvCORE is not going to go out there and make the money for you. You have to work with kvCORE, the system, not the people, the system, to actually generate some GCI for you, some gross commission income for you. So if you use half the things that we talked about today, implement them into your business regularly, you're gonna make money. It's impossible not to. The easiest way for you not to make money is by you doing nothing, by you just leaving it as just these mental blocks of, oh, it's so confusing, oh, it's so frustrating, there's so much. Well, work on one thing. We'll go back and implement the marketplace strategy, or the Craigslist strategy, or the meta ad strategy. And there's a ton of others that we could have gone into, but this video is long enough. Just start with something. If you're using kvCORE and you haven't logged in to actually pull some money out of it, use kvCORE to actually produce conversations for you, then you are missing out on a huge asset for you. You don't have to pay these overly priced marketing companies out there that'll charge you $2,000, $5,000 to run your ads for you. They are price gouging you. There's a reason that these particular videos do so well. It's the reason that this channel does so well. It's because I actually give you this information so you're not out there just getting ripped off, right? Anyway, if you don't know, let me give you one just final thing before you go. I just don't want you to lose. If you do nothing else, if you don't know how to launch ads as an example, go to Agently, agently.com. The Agently is a software that will actually launch your ads for you. If you are concerned on how to actually launch ads, allow Agently to do that for you, which you can still connect everything. So remember that first thing of launching the meta ads. You can actually allow Agently to create the ads for you, whether it's a just listed ad, a just sold ad, a new construction ad, any type of ad. Agently will actually go out and create your campaign for you, create your meta ad for you, your Facebook ad for you, and then you just connect it here on the back end, right? Then you would go through and go to the Smart Campaign and set up your templates, set up your campaign, set up your tasks, connect it over to Facebook or /Meta, and work it that way. So Agently, again, if you're hesitant on either social media marketing, if you're hesitant on launching ads, whatever the case may be, just let Agently do that for you. Now, full disclosure, I am part owner in Agently, so I do have a vested interest in you giving your money to Agently, which is so much more effective than you paying somebody that doesn't know what they're doing $5,000 to run your ads for you. But that's actually, that was a big reason of why Agently is even in the picture, is because all of these price gougers out there are taking your money There's another way. Anyway, I will go off on a rant. No, I'm not going to get too much into that. Appreciate you hanging out. If this helped you in any way, make sure to subscribe and also hit that like button and share with somebody that you think would benefit from this information. I do my best to give you as much as I possibly can so as to be as thorough and hopefully of value to your business.